Yes, sir. What's up, good people? It's your boy, D-Boy Henry Heck, back at it again with another video. And today we will be speaking about the PlayStation Blackout. Yes, sir, Bob. Some individuals on X have taken to organizing a kind of, gaming blackout, if you will, in order to protest I don't want to say recent, but the decision by Sony PlayStation to end physical disc production in 2028 January. So it's about a year and some change away, but they've taken to the internet and gotten the ball rolling. Got some whisperings and murmurings and conversations in the air as far as getting this situation organized so that the people can come together and voice their displeasures with this decision by just not participating in gaming on PlayStation specifically. Get that clear. You know what I mean? If you got a Nintendo Switch, still get your game on. You got a PC, get your GOG and Steam on. You get me? Or PS2, PS1, all your retro gaming, get that on still. But as far as this current generation of gaming, you know what I mean? Kick them in the shin, if you will. We have this post that is, to my understanding, this individual did not originate this post. This is just one of the run-of-the-mill gaming commentary accounts that have popped up that they tend to do, who just come in and monetize off of participating from a commentary standpoint in gaming, not necessarily as far as like playing and buying and supporting and things of that nature, but just speaking on what's going on inside of the culture. I'm about to say the culture. The culture or community, you know what I mean? So let's jump off in here and kind of read the comments and goings as far as what it's about. Let's get into it. For several years now, Sony Interactive Entertainment has continued to grow further apart from its fan base, right? Whether it's closing beloved studios like Bluepoint, pursuing a misguided live service strategy, canceling fan events, leaving PSVR 2 to die, or being completely out of touch with the franchises players want to see return, PlayStation has never felt more disconnected from its community. It's kind of a mix-up of wording there. If it were me right now, I would put the community, or this community has never felt more disconnected from PlayStation, because it's a specific portion of the community who's getting active behind this kind of thing. Ending physical disc in 2008 feels like the last straw. We understand there's only so much SIE can control, but with this decision, let me get this right. But with the decision that are within its control, that kind of threw me on off. The company continues to mismanage the strong position it inherited from the PS4 era. Now, the homies have had a discussion about this quite regularly. We feel, or some feel, as though in this generation we're getting much less games than we were before. The games that are coming forward aren't necessarily games that we are guaranteed to participate in, whereas before it may have been more games that were like must buys. It's this day and age, it seems like it's a decision to be made. You know what I mean? Like, we have to look into it more, and it's just not an automatic of when that PlayStation marquee scroll across PlayStation Studios, it's not a guaranteed purchase. And I can't get behind that. Even though with the live service push, a lot of the brothers and sisters were not accepting or for that. I was, because I play live service multiplayer games. So if it's single player or live service, I'm with it. Whereas, some other individuals may not necessarily feel that way. They want these single player narrative driven joints. You get me? But price increases and the value not necessarily being felt as though it's worth it. We had a PS Plus price increase. Now, to me, it was worth it because I participate in cloud gaming. So if you're an individual who does not participate in cloud gaming, then obviously it was not worth it to you. And you could probably go through with the plus games that they allow you to access month to month. You could probably go through and piece together a parts list, not a parts list, but a price list as far as how much each of those individual games cost, and you can probably add that up, and it would be at least of equal value to a month or plus, or there will be more than the value on paper now, because they could give you a whole bunch of games you just ain't interested in. If they give you a whole bunch of games you're not interested in, it don't matter how much. They could be $2 if you're not interested in the games and ain't gonna play them. The value ain't there. You get what I mean? So it's all about perceived value. So to me, Cloud was worth it. Now if they go up again, that's gonna be a conversation I'm gonna have to have with myself, and I'm gonna have to do some thinking. I'm gonna have to mull it over, as they say. Okay. There are so many issues with PlayStation right now that bringing back physical games only be... I'm tripping. There are so many issues with PlayStation right now that bringing back physical games would only be meeting players halfway. Now, while I agree, I think, it's just me, I think when you have an issue like this and you want to get some attention, you have to like go through an itemized list. This is my opinion. What's the most important? What do we... And again, this could be like a kind of, what's the N word? Negotiation tactics. You throw up a whole list, but it's only one thing you want. Maybe they settle on that one thing. You get what I mean? So it could be that. But me, how I'm thinking about it, again, I could be wrong, but this is just me. I would just focus and hammer down on the physical disc portion. I would focus and because I don't want nothing else muddy in the water. I don't want nothing else getting blurring the pool. I want these Jagaloons looking at this physical disc production. This is what I want. This is the focal point. This is the main thing. Don't nothing else matter right now. These discs, that's what we own. Okay. So there's still much more SIE can do. We miss Twisted Metal, SOCOM, Sly Cooper, and Resistance. We miss PlayStation Experience. We miss Japan Studios. Okay. Because when you bring up stuff like this about we miss, a person can then harken back and look at how much support did these things get while they were popping. Then look to that support and see if let's say one of those games sold a million copies. Would a million copies be sustainable right now today? Would the production value and what they put in budget wise be, could they apply that to today's standards and also get something of equal or greater value? You know, it's a lot of things you got to look at. Because say for instance, Twisted Metal, right? I personally don't think Twisted Metal would do that good right now here today. I just don't. It's my belief. I played Twisted Metal 1, 2, and 3. I then played Black. Was it fun? Sure. You know, drive around blowing up other cars, arena style. It was a good time. Would that be enough in today's gaming marketplace? I don't know. You know what I mean? They put that joint out $40 and not make it live service, because if you make it live service, then you gotta pay to support that joint. You gotta constantly have people on it. So maybe they could have a team going and just drop it as you get like a little story mode. Each character get a little 30-minute campaign worth, and then people go out and exist in the arena, and you maybe drop like how they did with Legends, right? They dropped that multiplayer. It was what it was. You get 2 updates. That's it. $30, $40. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they could find a way to make it work for a specific budget and for a specific amount of content, to where it is what it is. Hopefully sell. If not, we ain't out too much money. But there are ways in which you could go about it, but I don't think you want to keep this about this, in my opinion. That's just me. With that, we are calling on PlayStation players to participate in an economic and gameplay blackout from Sunday, August 23rd, 7 p.m. local time, through Sunday, August 30th at 7 p.m. local time. Players can participate by turning off their consoles or logging out for 7 days. We feel that this period gives publishers and developers minimal impact while still giving players a voice. See, and in my opinion, if you gotta be willing to burn it all, in my opinion, if you want to go out, jump out the window and do something like this, because who cares if the developers and publishers? That's the point in my mind. We want them to hurt. We want the developers to hurt. We want the publishers to hurt. You know, PlayStation gonna be all right at the end of the day. We need developers and publishers pushing on them, leaning on them to reverse certain decisions. The reason why they ain't gonna rock is because the publishers, man, they want it too. The developers want it too. You know, you'll bring up this Gaia creator and his whole situation that I had went over. But it's like, bro, you got 8 games, and out of those 8 games, your franchise as a whole only sold 5 million. Nobody is listening to you. We need big publishers speak. Ubisoft already said, but if Ubisoft say something, get to leaning on PlayStation. If Capcom, let Capcom get active talking about, nah, we ain't allowing this to happen. Capcom, you know what I'm saying, they'll make some decisions. Sega, they'll make some decisions. Square Enix, they'll make some decisions. You know? So yeah, you don't want minimal effect to developers and publishers. What do you mean? You want maximum effect to publishers and developers. 9 times out of 10, when you cut your PlayStation system on, you playing somebody else's game. You're not even playing a PlayStation Studios game 9 times out of 10. It's not that many of them. PlayStation ain't gonna feel no. We need to affect, or the people need to affect everybody. You gotta be willing to shut studios down behind this. You gotta be willing to send folks to the unemployment line behind this. And this is what I mean. Like, cause I stand back and I watch, and then, you know what I mean, if you ask me the question, I'm saying no, obviously not. I'm not participating. I'm gaming. I'm playing games. People do different things in different ways. The good brother Will 777JP actually spoke about this on his podcast. Beautiful podcast. Go over there to his channel and check that out. Link be down in the description. You know, I don't pre-order. I don't wish list. I stopped pre-ordering a while ago. Like, why? I can just buy it the night before and get all the benefits. I don't wish list because why? This game ain't coming out in a year minimum. If I'm ready to play it when it's out, then I'll play it when it's out. Like, this whole idea of allowing for these people to count certain metrics, meanwhile I don't have a product in my hand, is wild to me. Then they do the wish listing. They do the pre-ordering. You can't just base your physical game disc production off of that. Just print as many as people want. You have that. You know what I mean? And then lastly, my only other suggestion would be shift these time periods. Cause hey, if you want to protest, great. I'm not of the mind that people ought to shut up or they ought not be doing it. Hey, I'm all for people, you know, standing on business, jumping out the window and saying what they want to say and making their voices be heard. I'm all for that. But why not move it over, or even add these dates when Wolverine pop out, when Marvel Token pop out, when Phantom Blade X pop out, when GTA 6 pop out. Do it during these notable time periods where these big games are dropping. Do it during the time period where these companies would expect to have a spike in the MAU or whatever, monthly active users. Yeah, MAU, that's right, that's correct. Do it during those time periods so they notice that drastic drop off. You get what I mean? That's just my suggestion. Do what you want to do. You know, because obviously nobody is stupid. Nobody here is low IQ. Would this affect anything? Obviously not. But it's the idea of just getting people together, getting them active, getting them unified toward a specific thing. So let's do it in an accurate way and point it toward specific points. Whereas Sony PlayStation would expect to make the most money, would expect to have the most users at a particular point in time. Affect those time periods when dollars and players should be up. I think that would be a better use of time, or not a better use of time, but a better time slot to target, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to touch on the people who are attacking individuals who want to make their voice be heard, because on the end, you do what you want to do. On your account, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Where there's a push, there will always be a pull. That's the law of the universe. So of course, if you got somebody who's actively speaking about doing it, you're gonna have people who are actively speaking against doing it. Just like we have some people who are trying to sell it, like Marvel Token. You have people in there trying to celebrate the game, excited for the game, and you have people under there talking about, you know, oh, it would be, you know what I'm saying, affecting the energy over there. It's gonna always be a push and a pull, you know. But at the end of the day, if it's something, you're passionate about, something you feel strongly about, and you really are about it. I talk about the Rhino Bouncer quite frequently. Obviously, this is just my opinion. I obviously feel as though he's just using certain scenarios in order to boost his interactions, boost his followers, boost his what I'm saying. Obviously, I feel that way because I just haven't seen anything to show where he's really. I've never even seen a picture of this cat holding the control, buying no games. So it's easy for an individual who is not participating to sit up here and tell people who are participating to not, because you ain't got nothing to lose. You're not participating anyway. You get what I'm saying? But when you have an individual like a Will Triples MJP, even a Pyro, he clearly buys physical games. He clearly is invested in the ecosystem. Clearly. So when you have folk like that who are on the forefront, even what's the name of the company? The Will It Play. Obviously, they're super invested because their whole platform is based upon it. So obviously, they got something to lose. So when you got an individual like this who are and who should be at the forefront of these movements, these are the individuals y'all be highlighting. These are the individuals y'all be getting behind. There's another individual who had posted a kind of template for individuals to copy and add in to send to their local not local representative, but statewide. Well, statewide is local to a degree. In order to, get some eyeballs on something substantial that can be done instead of just, typing on the internet. Something actionable that can be done. And I think stuff like that is powerful. And it's just a personal thing. A lot of folks might not care. Some people might not care about the message, but the way I look at it, and again, this is just me, I like to see people who are, really about it, speaking about it and pushing it forward because the message is more clear. You know what I mean? I like those people to be highlighted and lifted above. So, because everything else just kind of muddy the water a little bit. You get what I'm saying? It just muddies the water, and yeah, I do speak to, certain individuals like this, but if you got a regular individual, an average Joe who, really passionate about this stuff and hammering down and giving out actionable things to be done, I support that 1000%. I don't believe you have to, if you like the whole no diss, no buy. I agree what it's supposed to be about. I agree with what it's supposed to be about, but it's just one of those things where at this point in its existence, I feel like it's being kind of hijacked in a way and used as a springboard for other individuals to just get some growth off of. That's just me, because you look at some of these accounts and it ain't shit about no physical disc collection, and a lot of times it ain't shit about no game. It ain't shit about no game. And you might say, oh, well, Henry, it don't matter. It's just, hey, I'm just speaking. You get me? So when sometimes people say, oh, well, you got this person speaking out every time, I go and I look. And if this joint got 10 followers and following 1,000 people, I'm throwing that away. Because a lot of people, when in certain situations like this where it's controversial and tensions are high and it's an opportunity for people to get some growth, they'll just go out there. They'll jump out the window and make an account. Jump out the window, make an account. X Premium half off right. That joint like $5. Throw a check on it and go to type. You can blow an account up. You can blow up your way to account. And then the next thing, they transition, change the name, transition. Next thing, change the name, and they just springboard, which is an amazing strategy as far as growing an account. Because a lot of folks, they'll grow these accounts and then sell them. They'll grow them to a certain amount of followers, and then they'll sell the account. And, some people will come in, let's say you start a business and whatever, and it's an account for sale, got like 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 followers, what have you. And they'll be like, all right, you can get this account for $200, $300. Sometimes some businesses will go ahead and buy them account. So it is a lucrative business to participate in on both ends. Because, hey, you got an account that's already got some followers, so it's shown and proved to a degree. And so for sponsors or what have you, they'll look at that. Only thing, you got to get your interactions up. You got to get that kind of thing up. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm getting outside the point and I'm dragging this joint on. But that's just my perspective as far as the Blackout. You know, wish those brothers and sisters luck, even though I'm not participating. I enjoy gaming too much. You get what I'm saying? And though I do enjoy other things, gaming is like my top 3 hobbies. Like straight up, it's one of the things I really enjoy to do, especially after a long day's work. And there ain't none like sinking into the sofa and getting that 3D audio pumping and getting your game on, bro. Ain't nothing like it. Unless you like watch like movies and Blu-rays and stuff, which is cool. And it's another thing that I'm gonna touch on briefly, because Sony PlayStation had made a post, not Sony PlayStation, but Sony had made a post about, you know, record players, and people were, you know, the audacity, because they were ending physical disc support. My folk don't know. Back in the 80s, I think it was the 80s, PlayStation stopped pressing discs in-house. They stopped it altogether. They didn't make records. Then come 2018, I think it was 2018 or 2020. One of those numbers. I'll look it up and then I'll put it in there. They started back pressing their own vinyls. You see what I'm saying? So even when they do stop, there's still, that leads me to, even though small percentage, small chance, that individuals could rally them up to a degree to where they start back doing it. You know what I mean? So, you know, lifting your voice up and making your voice be heard is never for naught. So, you know, when I said it ain't gonna matter, maybe not, maybe it will. Maybe not right now, but it could eventually in the future, depending. Because, you know, maybe some other people could take over the printing of the discs. You know, plenty of other companies could do it. Like I spoke to before, man, some folks get certified and go through whatever situation they got to go through in order to get them discs and make them. Maybe it's just something that Sony PlayStation may not want to do themselves, but allow for other folk to do. You get what I mean? We just don't know because they've not jumped out the window and said nothing, and what, you know, they've just not told us. But that's just a little tidbit of, they used to print vinyls, they stopped long ass time ago, and then they started back. At this point, like 10 years ago, they only just 10 years, a long fucking time. 10 years, it was damn COVID times, damn near. But yeah, that's all I want to speak to. You know, let me know how you feel about it down inside the comments. Drop a like if you will. Drop a subscribe if you want to. Catch me every Saturday on my own podcast, GG or Die. Episode 22 coming up. Catch me on the Good Brother with 777 JP channel. Just playing live stream over there with RPG 88, the big homie. Not the big homie, but the other homie. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all the next one.